What's going on, everyone? My name is Bob. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I was never really hoping to have to make this video, but I don't know if any of you know this, but my dad had been sick for a long time, and it got so bad that on Tuesday of last week, March 21st, at around 8:45 in the afternoon, my dad, Robert Edward Lowry Sr., passed away of a massive brain hemorrhage. Now, my dad had emphysema. He had smoked for a good bit of his life, and he was not really able to breathe all that well. And I kept urging him to go to the doctor to get oxygen, and he just wouldn't go. He was stubborn as a bull, just like his dad. But it got so bad as to where I would have to go do things for him instead of him taking me to go in and do the stuff for him. I had to get somebody to go take me to the store. And that night, when it happened, that day he had gotten me to get someone to take me to the store to get him some foods that he thought he'd be able to keep down, because for a while he wasn't really keeping much of anything down. He was running a fever, and he was only keeping down like tea. So I knew something wasn't right, but he was like, "Junior, don't worry about it." And I tried calling his mom, and he's like, "Junior, just let it go. I'll be fine." So I was like, "Okay, Dad, but don't make me regret this." So I went to the store, I got him the foods he wanted, came back, put it all in the pantry, put some of it in the cupboards, a lot of it in the fridge, because he made me buy him some oranges and apples and yogurt and some cinnamon buns and stuff. Things that he thought he'd be able to keep down. So I went out, got it, brought it home, and put it away. By the time I got home, it was like 5-ish. So I went in my room and watched some YouTube. I watched some normal stuff that I watch. Some Oxhorn, some Jeff Favignano, some Polecat, some Bay Area Bugs, a little bit of Jacksepticeye, and then I started watching a BB gun video, and around 7:30-ish, I was about to come out because SmackDown was going to get ready to come on in half an hour, and I wanted to be ready. So I was about to come out when I heard my dad slightly echo my name. So I was like, "Oh, you probably need some more tea." So I came out into the living room. He didn't look all that great. I mean, he did look like he had been sweating a little bit, but he didn't look right, is the point. And he moaned, and he went like this. He was like, his head started crawling back, and I got super scared. So I picked up his phone. Well, before I did that, I did what any person does, like shake them a little bit to see if they're actually, like dying. And he wasn't responding. Well, he did respond a couple times, but he didn't like talk. He was just gurgling. So it's like, oh, he's probably choking on something. So I turned his head, and a whole crap load of water came out of his mouth. And I started tapping on his back to see if I could get the rest of it out, and a little bit more came out. But he wasn't breathing, so I called 911. They told me what to do. I started the compressions, what you do to try and get their heart restarted. And the 911 operator said, "Stay calm, keep compressing. Does he sound like he has a pulse? Is he breathing?" I answered all the questions. I kept doing what the 911 operator told me to do, and like 2 to 3 minutes later, the ambulance was here and the paramedics, and they came in, they took over, and they hooked him up to this machine and did all that stuff. Injected him, ripped his shirt open, ripped his pant leg open to stick a needle in his leg. And the whole time I was freaking out. I was like, "Oh my God, save my fucking dad!" And I just kept thinking in my mind, like, "Oh my God, please, I hope he's okay. Don't let this be the end." So they finally got him on a stretcher and put him in the back of an ambulance. And I rode in the front of another ambulance. Sorry, I'm coming out of a cold. So I rode in the back of another ambulance. Well, not in the back, in the front of an ambulance. And first thing I did when I got in there was I called my dad's mother, my grandmother, and said, "Oh my God, Grandma, I think Dad might have had a heart attack. I don't know what to do. I'm going to the hospital with him. Is there any way you can meet me there?" And she freaked out and then she hung up. And then so I called my friend Landon. If any of you know, you're subscribed to his channel. So I called him. I was like, "Dude, I don't know, but I think my dad might have had a heart attack. I need you to meet me at Westmoreland Hospital in town. Please, I need you there. I'm going to really need you for moral support. I need you. Get there, please." And he's like, "Okay, I'll see what I can do." And so he came. And, sorry, I'm freaking out a little bit. So they came. I got to the hospital. And, got put in the family waiting area. I waited there for about maybe a half an hour until one of the nurses finally came in and said, "Are you Robert's son?" I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Okay." So I think this is what they said. When we got there, he wasn't responsive. When the ambulances got there, he wasn't responsive. And they tried bringing him back, and they got him back for a short time. But by the time they got him here to the hospital, it was already too late. So they did bring him back, but he wouldn't have been able to stay alive. So they did manage to get his heart restarted. So it wasn't a heart attack. And this whole time I'm like, "Oh my God, I think my dad had a heart attack. He's going to need heart surgery." And that wasn't the case. So then the senior coroner, or was it the medical examiner, came in. That was after my grandma had finally gotten there. And she was like, he was like, "Due to what your son has told us, and from what we have found through his body, we can conclude that he did not die of a heart attack, but of a massive brain hemorrhage." And if you don't know what a massive brain hemorrhage does, when you have one, it's basically a giant brain bleed. See, not enough oxygen gets in your brain, and your brain is like struggling to function itself. So it works extra hard. And then apparently like a blood vessel pops, and then you're just bleeding in your brain. So what my dad had because he had emphysema. So he was struggling to breathe it in the first place. So he was at a very big disadvantage. So his brain was working on overtime to try and keep it going. So what happened was, his brain must not have got enough oxygen, and he had basically a massive brain hemorrhage. He had basically a massive cell explode in his brain. And when that happens, you just pass away and there's no coming back. And even if you do come back, you'd be on life support for the rest of your life and you'd be a vegetable. So in a way, I'm actually kind of glad that he went out that way, because I wouldn't have wanted to see him suffer, because he would never remember me or any one of his loved ones or anything he ever did. He was a very, very great man. I have a picture of him right here. If you can see, that's him right there. It's in black and white. I am going to read you the obituary they put in the Greensburg paper. Here's what it says. Robert E. Lowry, 59, of Greensburg, died Tuesday, March 21st, 2017, at Excella Health, Westmoreland Hospital, Greensburg. He was born January 20th, 1958, in Johnstown. He was a self-employed mechanic. He enjoyed building model cars. Survivors include his mother, Dorothy Workowski Piper, of Blairsville, son, Robert Lowry Jr., that's me, of Greensburg, sister Kathy Burns and husband Joe, of Bellevue, Nebraska, brother Glenn Lowry of Reno, Nevada, 4 nephews, 1 niece, and 1 great-niece. He was preceded in death by his father, Robert Herman Lowry. In keeping with Robert's wishes, there will be no visitation or services. And when I saw that, I was actually really relieved to see that other people would be able to see how good of a man my dad was. The only thing I wish they would have put in there is how he died. People need to know about this. People need to know the signs of a hemorrhage in your brain that is coming. So I'm here in my house all alone. I've got to live by myself now. It was just me and my dad here. Now I'm all by myself with all of my cars, which you cannot see. Which you probably will be able to see now. With all of these cars. I am stuck with all these cars now. So I have no idea what I'm going to do. I also need a new couch. Because the following day after I came home from seeing my dad for the last time before they cremated him to put him with his dad, me and my friend, we came in here, this polecat, we came in here and we got rid of a couch. We had, the love seat was right here, well, the ottoman actually, and then the couch went like this. It went across over to the cabinet and went out to about here, so it was one of the big L-shaped couches. And I kept thinking to myself, I don't want that here. All it will do is remind me of where he died, because he died right here. They said he was pronounced dead right here. Because technically, the reviving for that very short time didn't count, because he was already gone. They basically just got his body started, not his brain. So his brain was already gone. And in turn, he was gone. So, yeah, I'm here all by myself, trying to survive and not break down completely. I have had a lot of very good cries, but I am just trying my damnedest not to break down completely. there was a very short time where I didn't want to be on this earth anymore. I just wanted to die and be with my dad. But then I thought to myself, what are you thinking, Bob? Your dad, if he's up there in heaven, as soon as you get there, he'd beat the living crap out of you and he'd ground you. He's like, Junior, he'd be like, Junior, why did you kill yourself? I know you losing me is a really big deal to you, but that's no reason to just kill yourself. And it is absolutely right. Just because you lose a family member doesn't mean you have to absolutely freak out and kill yourself. And that's not what I'm going to do. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to freak out and kill myself. But I'm sorry I haven't been making videos. It's been in part to this happening and me being out of school for 2 weeks, trying to take care of my dad. So, I made a little shrine to him with his hat he wore all the time, and all his Steelers stuff. So, just so I know that you guys actually cared about me or my dad, could you be so kind as to leave a like on this video or any other of my videos? And please subscribe to my channel. It would really help me a lot in this time of need. And in the comments section below of this video, if you could, please leave a kind message from my dad, saying maybe like, rest in peace, Bob, you will be missed very much. You were a great man. And it's true, he was a great man. But, yes, please help me out in any way you can. I'm not going to ask you guys for money, because I'm not that kind of person. But I will be posting videos again. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Just because my dad died doesn't mean I'm gonna stop. So, until next time, this has been Bob. I'll see you.